All right. Um, Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, Father, and Son, and Holy Spirit. Guys, let's get into it. First off, I need to say close. And we need to activate. All right, so as you guys can see, we're here in the new studio, coming to you live from Budapest. That's a joke. As you can see, you guys, I do have my hair done. Okay, we got it done yesterday. What's today? Sunday. Today's Sunday, the Lord's Day. And as you can see, my hair is laid. And I'm quite satisfied with how it turned out. Honestly, I had no idea. I'm just gonna look exactly like this, but as you can see, it's spinning. I'm quite ecstatic with the results, you guys. Anyway, let's get down to business. Today's kind of a oddball because as you guys normally know, Sunday, fun day. It's the Lord's Day, so we would be at Mass, but the church that we go to is going through some serious renovations because about 2 years ago we had a flood, and so probably a little bit more than half of the city has a ton of water damage, including the church. We had to just pretty much dig up the entirety of the floor and probably do some stuff with the walls, but it was mainly the floor boards and the seats. So all that had to be carved out, and it took them about a year to do it. But from my knowledge, all that has been completed, so we'll resume our continued programming, and we'll be back in that facility today actually. Well, they told me today, but it's probably sometime next week. Anyways, my hair, you guys, do you guys like it? Do you like it? Boom. Paul Simon Stoof in the building says hello. I am Pauline. Hello, Pauline. Nice to have you here this evening. Your name's kind of off-putting because Paul makes you sound like a man. You have to clear that up for us because I'm a bit confused and I want to address you as your proper pronouns. We don't want to cause any confusion here in the chat. Michael Byrne said, hi. Hello, Michael. Anyways, as I was saying, yes, you guys, I did shave the chop the beard because I got my hair did, as you can see. I personally, I think it looks gorgeous. And I don't really care what you guys have to say, but please, if you have any nice comments, leave them and tell me that I look pretty because that helps boost my ego. Lena Roska says, off throwing up. Lena, you need to go take some Pepto-Bismol. We don't want anyone getting sick here, especially if you're contagious. So go to the doctor, go get the proper medications. Pro tip, if you guys, well, I mean, since you guys are probably natives to Europe, you don't have this problem. You probably only have this problem if you travel overseas. To America, perhaps, but not to a severe degree. To India, most definitely. Most definitely, you will have this problem. So here, I'll lay it out for you guys. Be cautious of the water and the air, but you can't really regulate the air. It's more the water, because depending on where you are in the world, the various pH levels. Ooh, thank you guys for the hearts. I love you. The pH level of the water is going to be different. For example, here, over here in Europe, the pH level is anywhere from 5.5 to 6, whereas in America, you know, what the Americans are used to, it's about 4.5 to 5.5, a little bit lower. But that will have a significant effect on your skin and on your hair. You will experience more or less. Oh, thank you guys for the hearts. Thank you guys so much. I love you. I love you. You will have more or less, they call it flakes or dandruff. But really, it's not dandruff, it's just dryness. Perhaps you do have a skin condition, then you should consult a dermatologist. That's just my expert opinion. But be cautious of the water that you're drinking, but more importantly, the water that you're showering with, because the pH levels are different. Also, don't be having sex with multiple people, especially if you're a woman, because then your pH levels will be thrown off and you're more inclined to developing yeast infections, possibly STIs or STDs. Hope and pray to God that you get an STD over, an STI over an STD, because then you will just have to take a few pills. It'll be gone in 4 days to about 7 days versus the STD, which will stay with you your entire life. We have Holly Akbar in the chat said, A is the transformer with all the hepatitises. Holly Akbar, why are you projecting? Somebody get this nigga out of here. Lena Roska says, smiley face with a bunch of rainbows. 1, 2, 3. Oh, thank you, Lena, for the heart rainbows. And I actually appreciate you including 7 hearts for a complete rainbow, because as you guys know, the LGBT HD TV flag only contains 6, which is actually an incomplete rainbow, rendering it thus not a rainbow at all. They hijacked that from the Catholics. Astronaut Gamer Moo says hi. Hello, Astronaut Gamer. Fancy Sun says sup, hummy. Yo, what is Gucci? What's going on, you guys? All my ladies and gentlemen, all you fine shits out there, what is going on? We're going to get right into our regularly prescribed program. And first up on the list, we have my album. My album this month, it's coming out. Not like that, not like my album is gay or something. My album will be dropping this month, October 31st, Halloween, Taliban, and it's going to be titled, what's the name of my album? Yeah, I forgot the name of my own album. Sorry about that. Oh, the name of my album is called It Got Dark. It's dropping. Okay, so go get that. It will be on Spotify, but not right away. You can go find it on SoundCloud, and I'll drop it here on YouTube Halloween, October 31st. So be on the lookout for that. Next up on the docket, we have Gaza and Israel. The war is over, so all you homosexuals, pack it up, okay? You can put the flags away. The war is over. There's a ceasefire right now, and Israel has pulled its troops out. It looks like Hamas is coming back in, unfortunately. So do with that information as you will. EN says, hi, where are you from? Thank you guys for the hearts. Thank you guys for the likes. I love you guys so much. And what is going on with you animals today? There's 5 people watching and only 2 likes. We need to see 5 likes in the shot right now. What are you guys doing with your lives? Now there's 3 people in here, so and 2 likes. So whoever the 3rd person is watching right now that hasn't liked the stream, go ahead and like that, because that really boosts my ego. And I'm not going to move until someone else likes this live stream. English or Spanish? EN with the 5 black hearts. Please, you guys, no gang signs in this chat, okay? We do not promote any sort of gang activity, nor sort of cartel affiliation, none of that. Okay, we are all upstanding, law-abiding citizens here. We obey the laws. We love our police officers. We follow the constitutions of our land. So I would expect you guys to do the same. Moving on. Shout out to Charlie Kirk. Not really a shout out, but R.I.P. Charlie Kirk, Fletcher Merkel, Harper Moisick, Sophia Forches, David Haig, Andre Gunther. Now, three of those people are not dead, so we're not going to say RIP to them, but we do need to acknowledge them and send up our prayers for them and prayers for the families of Charlie Kirk, Fletcher Merkel, Harper Moisky. These were all innocent human individuals that died from senseless violence. You got to stop the violence. In fact, if you see a violent person, I would encourage you to call the police or make a citizen's arrest and beat them until the police arrive. But more importantly, keep in prayer Sophia Forches, David Haig, Andre Gunter. Now, there are many more. Some speculate as many as 17 to 30 additional people who were shot and severely injured, but unfortunately, we do not have access to their names, so we cannot shout them out personally. To keep them in your prayers. Why don't we have access to these people's names? Is because majority of them are children and their privacy is being protected. But they were shot or severely injured in some way from this Catholic school shooting that happened a couple months back. So please keep them in your prayers. New setup. Our phone is about to die. All right, Sports Edits 7YT said hi. Hello, Sports Edits. Thank you so much for your sub. I love you dearly. And if I ever see you in real life, I will give you a kiss on the forehead. Thank you guys so much. New setup, you guys. As you can see, we are here live in New York City. Yes, that is New York City right behind me. We're not using a green screen. And for the next 6 weeks, we will be here in New York City, even though our CIA facility is located in southern Germany. So, today we do have the microphone attached, but it is not plugged in. That's why the audio isn't coming out crispy, but bear with me, you guys. We will locate the adapter next episode. So that is neither here nor there. The Catholic Church opened up its doors to Muslims. Well, the door has always been open to Muslims, but more specifically, they opened up the Vatican Library to Muslims so that they could pray. Now, is this a good idea? I think that there's a couple things to keep in mind here. So historically, Muslims have been taking over and destroying Christian sacred spaces, so opening up the doors I don't think would be in the best interest of Catholics. However, I am not in charge. I don't run things in the Vatican, so perhaps someone has some better insight on how this situation could play out. Possibly we open up our doors, we let more people in, and which leads to a greater conversion rate. Possible. Is it probable? I don't know, and honestly, I don't want to speculate on the statistics of this happening or not happening because, well, we want to keep faith alive. Another thing to add to is we have to remember the story of Joseph, one of my favorite stories. We're actually reading it right now to my small children. And throughout the story of Joseph, we see Joseph repeatedly being beat down, oppressed, many years. I think it's a time span of 11 to 13 years. He's had false allegations against himself. It's alleged that he raped a woman. It's not true. He was beaten and then sold by his own family members and jailed, I believe it was twice. Had high position and then demoted. Several things happened in Joseph's life, only for at the end for him to wield the entire power of a nation, thus saving them from a severe famine. So I know we spoke a lot about different things that happened to him out of order, but if you look at the entirety of the story, it's not what happened in the beginning or the end. or the middle. The ending is the most important. Because he was jailed so many years before that, that gave him access to specific people and put him in the places in the future to where he could save millions or hundreds of thousands of people. So, I guess the principle here to take away from it is that sometimes you have to dig in the dirt to get the diamonds. Mary Schlittler, what's the name? Is it D or Die? I guess there's no real way to ask. It's it's just egal. D or the Die, um, whichever one makes you feel more comfortable. I guess for all my uh, English speakers, you say Die. For my Deutsch sprechenden, you can say D. D Cornelius. How do you guys even have my Instagram handle? What is going on, you guys? All right, next up on the docket, race mixing. I think race mixing is a good thing. Now, I understand why a lot of people are opposed to race mixing. White power, we want to make America white again. We want to make, Europe have our, white nations back. And, I feel like there is a value into staying within your race. Number one, marriage. You want to marry someone that has some sort of similarities to you. So if a black and a white, get married, it can work, but how well will it work versus two white people coming from two similar societies and backgrounds? It might mesh a little bit better. For example, if y'all went to the same school, grew up in the same neighborhoods, ate the same sorts of meals, the culture is very similar, thus creating a better harmony for your potential future partnership. Partnership is a terrible word to use for your marriage. However, that being said, can two different people from two different cultures mesh and make things work? Absolutely. And in fact, I do encourage race mixing. Why? Because race mixing is how we can completely eliminate racism. Just imagine this. All the blacks on this side and all the whites get together, have children. What are the kids going to be? The logical conclusion is mixed. And now we take those kids and we mix them with another set of mixed kids. In about 2 to 3 generations, everyone will be mixed. So then how can we be racist? We're all mixed up. There will be no black, there will be no white, we'll just all be mixed. I think this is a great idea to absolutely eradicate racism. But then again, dating within your race, I think, does simplify marriage exponentially, because let's say you have someone from an Indian culture trying to mesh with a Mexican culture. Those values and those traditions will be drastically different. For example, you have a black from the hood, you have a white from upstate. Those two cultures will be drastically different and almost at times opposed. But can it work? Yes, but under very fine circumstances. Ich spreche Deutsch, ich auch. I know ein bisschen. Oi, I'm a mixer, I guess. They call me a mud shark. I think that's actually a derogatory term, Mary. I would not wear that title as a badge of honor. Although my husband is half white, our culture is completely different, but we've been through similar things. Like we both lost our moms. Bad relationships with dad. I agree. I have 2 biracial children. That is amazing. It's very interesting. It's very curious that you said that too, Mary, because I too have 2 biracial children. Starting to wonder if Mary is actually my wife, just under an alias YouTube account. My family just didn't want me to marry an American. They didn't care about race, but I did anyways. Oh, see, this is where you messed up. Oh, no, I'm just joking. No, that's actually amazing. Mary Schindler. All right, so you look like you're white, so I'm guessing your husband is probably black or Indian. Just my two guesses. I myself do not believe that we should stay within our own races. I find all races to be beautiful. So to isolate yourself, let's say if you're black and say, well, I only want to date black women, it's kind of doing a disservice to yourself because there's gorgeous white women, there's gorgeous Mexican women, gorgeous Asian women, and you never know who you will mesh with the best. So why would you draw a box around yourself? But at the same time, don't discriminate. My family are immigrants. They love my husband, but they didn't want land going to another culture. I get that. But, us humans, we're so short sighted. At the end of the day, who cares? Now, respecting and honoring your parents should always be in the forefront of your mind, but not to your own detriment. Okay? There is a respectful way to go around things, and when you're combining two people, you have to keep in mind that it's not just two people coming together, but two families. So again, you want the meshing to mush correctly. All right, you want it to be like hot water and sugar, not like oil and vinegar. I actually widowed very young. I married a white man too. He joined the army to get permission to marry me, just like my grandfather did for my grandmother. They loved him too. That's always a plus when you can get the grandparents on board with the future hubby. They had a lot of farmland and they didn't want people splitting it up. That's what they were afraid of. They had seen it over and over in their community. Yeah, so I guess, yeah, it would be, in this situation, it would be easier to marry someone within your own race or culture. But even that doesn't come with a guarantee that this person is actually a good human being of worthwhile character of integrity. So that's often the mistake that a lot of people make. And in fact, you see this in a lot of cultures that arrange marriages. There's nothing wrong with arranged marriages. There is a wrong way of going about it to where it's forced upon someone, usually a young girl, and that is actually incorrect, a non-valid marriage. But oftentimes, families will overlook a good, kind-hearted person that is outside of their race for someone that is in their race who's an absolute piece of trash of a human being. A lot of subdivisions went up over farmland. It's not a guarantee my mother married a nice Catholic Czech boy and it went very badly. Yeah, that's my point exactly. And know and like. So I wasn't for that nonsense. Didn't want to limit myself. I feel that completely, Mary. At the same time, you need to have the blessing of your father. I don't know if you say your father is still alive, but he passed away. I mean, if you don't have the blessing of your father, then pretty much it's in your own hands. But if your father is still alive, you need your father to sign off on the man that you are trying to marry, because as women, you're underneath the authority and headship of your father until you get married. And this man should sign off because a new man will be responsible for you at this time in life. That's pretty much the gist of the giving away of the bride, walking her down the aisle, lifting up the veil. Now, if your father happens to be a racist, then yeah, this would be incredibly tough to marry outside of your race. But Godspeed. I definitely had the blessing they weren't that short sighted. Well, that's amazing. That's amazing, Mary, because Yeah, that's not very common in a lot of cultures. My grandfather was the patriarch. If I had his blessing, I had my father's blessing. That's awesome. Well, it sounds like you had it pretty easy. And, a lot of women in your situation, even the idea of doing something like this would probably end up in getting this young woman stoned to death. So, shouts out to your grandfather and shouts out to your father. Moving on. I think we're finished with that. The biggest thing was that he treats me well. Yes, that should always be top three in considering a wife or a husband. But number one is, what is this person's values? Number two is, does this person have sufficient virtue for me to even consider dating them? And dating, I'm using the old expression of dating, which can really be summed up with courtship. Dating, contrary to popular belief, doesn't involve sex. So I know that's a very foreign idea to a lot of people. We'll dive into that a little bit deeper. Czech people are very colorful, so race has never been an issue. Huh, that's very interesting. Thank you guys for the likes. Thank you guys so much. Make sure you guys go ahead and like this stream and go ahead and send in your super chats of 4,100 euros every month. Thank you guys so much. That money will be donated to needy children in Germany. Thank you guys so much for the likes and the supports. I love you. Lena Roska said hi. Lena, why are you saying hi again? You were already here. Yeah, see? Lena, you were already here. You said auf, and you said it's tut mir leid. But again, I'll have to bring back the rules of the chat. But you guys, please, no getting high in the chat, and don't say sorry. Gotta head out, but I subbed. I'll be around. Thank you, Mary Schiedler. Thank you so much for your sub, and thank you for your time, for being here. It will always be a pleasure. Hopefully, we can see each other in the near future. Have a great day, Mary. And now a word from our sponsors. But before that, we will shout out to Blinky Stay from Japan. Said, hi, how are you? Thank you, Blinky Stay, for your comment. We are doing fabulous today. Having a great day here in New York City. We're in New York City, we're not in Germany, okay? Just letting you guys know so you don't get confused. Here today we have a special guest, Mr. Payne. And also, goodbye, we have Mr. Uchiha himself here in the building in the flesh. Now, moving on. This is something I don't really want to address, but we have to, because it is such a problem. Now, if you guys watch my earlier videos today, they're not here, but they're somewhere out there. If you know, you know. We talked about black fatigue, and the question came up earlier. Why are they like this? Well, there's numerous reasons that go into why they are like this. Number one, and this is no order, but we're just listing this as number one. Low IQ, bad public schooling, little to no education, and the ability to think rationally and problem solve has been lacking in these people for a very, very long time. Highly, highly emotional individuals, and whenever you find that in large quantities, it will be followed by violence. Number two, no fathers in the home. This is a huge problem. Like my friend Mary spoke about earlier, she had a patriarch in her family. Patriarchs are a good thing. They keep the family together, provide a solid foundation. Really, you need a strong male figure, followed beside him a strong female figure, father and a mother, to provide a safe foundation for children and families to grow. This is lacking severely in the black community. This is why we see statistics of 60 to 70% of black youths with no father in the home. No father, no male figure, no authority in the house, and in return, you will see that. Sorry for technical difficulties, but with no male authority in the house, you usually won't have any authority. You won't give a shit about anyone or anything. So this is also why we see in turn a severe lack of authority in society, especially towards any sort of police officers, which then results in more blacks being jailed. Now, if we want to break it down and get even deeper, we can go into the anatomy of sin. We can do that in another stream. But essentially, you have two things going on. You have your intellect, and then you have your conscience. And whenever you make a bad decision or a bad move, this does violence to your intellect. Essentially, you're numbing and you're dumbing yourself down. So you're making yourself stupider and you're opening up yourself to make the same mistake in even a greater way the next time it comes around. So, for example, if I start stealing at a young age, I know that that's wrong, right? Probably by the age of like 5 or 6, that it's wrong to steal. But let's say I start going to Walmart and I start stealing multiple items and I'm getting away with this. What happens in my mind is that I no longer look at stealing as a bad thing, but it becomes in return a good thing because I'm getting exactly what I want. And also, there's no repercussions because I'm getting away with this. Now, over time, again, that's doing literal damage to your intellect and completely warping reality around you to where you start to see evil things as good things. This is why crimes grow rampant in these communities because things such as stealing, drug dealing, drug using, prostitution are no longer looked at as a bad thing, but just as a way of life, a means to an end. And over generations, when you have this continuously going on, you can imagine what that community would look like. So, to summarize, we have intellect being seriously damaged, no strong male father figures, no strong role models, period. When you look at this community, who are the role models? The role models are always the people getting money. And how are these people obtaining money? Illegally. The drug dealers, the pimps, or we have entertainers. Now, as anyone knows who's trying to make it in entertainment, it's not an easy industry to break into. You really need a lot of talent and luck on your side to break through. So, unfortunately, I'm sorry to break it to a lot of you people. You will not be an NBA star. You won't be an NFL star. You won't be a famous actress, actor, singer, rapper. Okay. You probably have better chances hitting the mega millions than one of these things happening. But don't let my words discourage you. Always continue to chase your dreams. With that in mind, you have to be realistic, or either you have to be extremely hardworking and relentless, which a lot of people don't have. They have poor work ethics because they never had the proper guidance or role models to guide them in that way and fashion in their life. Human beings today are extremely lazy. We want to take the easy way out, and we're opposed to any sort of hard work. So there's that. All right, you guys, thank you guys so much for being with me today. think we're gonna kill stream in about 30 seconds. If you guys have any other questions, comments, concerns, feel free to leave them in the chat. Who is this? So we were gearing up this morning to go and celebrate Mass as we do every Sunday, but unfortunately all Mass ceremonies got canceled, and in return, in about 2 hours, we have a celebration of a priest being ordained as a bishop, I believe. We have to go back and read that, so we will be in attendance to that in a few hours. So unfortunately, I do have to go, but I wish all of you guys a beautiful day. Hope you guys have a great day filled with peace, joy, and happiness. And remember, you guys, I love you. I thank you for coming here and for spending your super chats and your super stickers with me and just showing me kindness and love always. Lou said days ago. How many days ago? About a week ago. Lou, long time no seeing, making me very, very sad. But I'm glad that you're here right now. Unfortunately, I am about to leave, and also my phone is about to die. So we have to go sort out that situation. Hope you guys have a great Sunday. In the name of the Father, in the name of the Son, in the name of the Holy Spirit. Oh yeah, look. Amen. I keep getting mad notifications saying my phone is about to turn off. So you guys, go do something with your life. Okay, God bless you. Bye. I will see you guys tomorrow, because this entire week is a special week for me. So you guys will be seeing a lot more of me this entire week. And in addition to myself, we might have a couple special guests, but we'll play it by ear. Good morning, good afternoon, good night. This has been Cornelius Gore Live. You guys, go do something with your life. Jesus Christ loves you all. Go eat some Eucharist.